What's going on, everyone? So, Chicago Bulls are a team that shopping several key guys, right? I mean, you got Dosunmu, you got Kobe White that they're shopping. Jalen Smith might be a guy that they're potentially shopping. I've already talked about Nikola Vucevic. He could end up getting bought out, so he could be a buyout candidate for the Los Angeles Lakers. They tried to trade him; it's not really working. Talking about maybe buying him out in the next month or so. There's talks about Chicago trying to potentially go and trade for a Nick Richards. If that happens, then they're probably definitely buying out Nikola Vucevic. So it's like you might be able to get Nikola Vucevic off of a buyout, and then can you maybe explore a couple trades and land, I don't know, 2, 3 guys from the Chicago Bulls. I mean, even Patrick Williams is a guy that is supposedly on the trade market for Chicago. Kind of feels like they're kind of just fielding offers, right? Doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to trade all these guys, or, maybe they trade a combination of guys, trade some, not others, right? I think it just boil down to what does Chicago want? What is Chicago looking for? And what would it cost for you to pony up whatever you have to pony up in order to get some of those guys, right? So personally, this is just me. I would stay away from Kobe White, right? He's a bucket getter. He's a guy that, when he's cooking and on, dude can be incredible. But I look at him more in ideally that Lou Williams type role where it's like he's coming in, go get us 20 off the bench on a nightly basis, right? It's kind of where I look at him at. He's not really great defense. He has his moments, stuff, right? I would look at Dosunmu. I just like Dosunmu better. I think he is a guy that gives you basically everything that Kobe White gives you, but slightly better playmaker, as well as just a better defensive player, and a guy that I think can slot in really 1 through 3 for you. Guy that is still young enough with plenty of upside and potential. Not that Kobe White is, old by any stretch of the imagination, right? Kobe White's 25, so he's still young. But I look at him and I'm like, I'd rather go with the Dosunmu route. That's just me personally, right? So, can you get an who is 25 as well? Similar size, similar strengths. But again, I think is just better. He has just better tools all around. Could be that better defensive player, be that point of attack kind of playmaking, initiating, create for himself, create for others, but also slot into that just kind of 3-and-D guard role for you if that's the kind of route you were looking for. But beyond that, right, a lot of other young guys are not going to want to get rid of, but I wouldn't mind, like I said, can you get a Jalen Smith, right? 6'9", 6'10", versatile kind of. He's kind of that power forward center type, right? He's a guy that I could see you slotting alongside DeAndre Ayton at times, a guy that maybe you can even slot alongside Jackson Hayes at times, right? He's a guy that, you could put at the 5, stretch the floor for you a little bit, kind of go with the small ball unit, but you still have, a 6'10" guy that's athletic and can be that lob threat and stretch the floor, knock down the 3 ball with some consistency, right? Can you maybe get an and a Jalen, right? Can you maybe get kind of both, right? That you're talking, roughly 18 million, give or take, in salary that you'd have to send out in order to do that, which, I mean, Rui alone, you could just do that. I mean, you'd have to clear Russ, probably wave Shake Milton and boom, send out Rui and then kind of do a 2-for-1 swap if you wanted to go that route for you. And Rui makes some sense for them. Patrick Williams, I really like Patrick Williams. He's still very young too. He's 23, 6'7", 6'8", versatile forward, right? Versatile wing that can defend multiple positions, right? He's looked at as a legit 3-and-D style forward that can slot in really at either forward spot. A guy that, again, is probably best suited just by the recent play at the 4, but I think he's a guy that you could slot at the 3. He has the athleticism. He has the defense. He has played both forward spots. So he's a guy that I do think would be comfortable in that 3 spot. I don't think it'd be like a Rui situation where Rui is a 4 who has kind of had to adapt, mold, and model his game to better suit a 3, but he just doesn't have necessarily the tools to be a good defender out on the perimeter because he just doesn't have the lateral quickness and athleticism, where a Patrick Williams, he does. I'd love to go get a Patrick Williams too, but he's a little more pricey. If it's something where it's you got to take all 3 type thing, then sure, right? I don't think that would hurt at all. Give you some youth, some athleticism, some defense, and on all fronts, right? If you get an Jalen Smith, and a Patrick Williams, I mean, you could slot all three of those guys right alongside Luka and LeBron if you wanted to, right? Have like a Luka, Io, Williams, right? I guess you got Ayton too, so you probably want to play Ayton. So maybe Jalen Smith is coming off the bench for you, or in a year or two when LeBron leaves, maybe Jalen Smith slotting in at the 4, Williams at the 5, Io at the 2, and then Austin Reeves. Maybe you've traded, or if he's that, then maybe Io's coming off the bench. Whatever, you get the point, right? Like Chicago could be a destination that Lakers should at least be keeping an eye on, right? So obviously, if you could get Jalen Smith, I would do that. But do you kind of just wait, see if Nikola Vucevic gets bought out? Let's say he gets bought out, right? Then he could be your backup, cheap, vet minimum, free. Obviously not the defensive player that Jalen Smith is, but still, like he could be that, your backup. You're looking to play, 20 minutes a night, right? And then go and focus your assets and whatever you need to trade to go get an Io and a Patrick Williams, right? Kind of go that route and go with a 3-and-D wing and then a 3-and-D kind of guard combo, right? That could be something that maybe is more beneficial to the Lakers. Look, again, if you could get all three of them, there's several guys I wouldn't hate if you could land. If you could make it work, then beautiful. We'll also see what else they end up doing as far as like the trade front goes. They also got Isaac Okoro. Can you maybe go get an Isaac Okoro too? He's 24, right? Another 3-and-D wing, right? Like maybe you can't get Patrick Williams, or maybe it's not even worth Patrick Williams because of his price tag compared to the other guys, and you're getting an Okoro and all those guys, and that would just be a much easier trade salary wise for you to match. Maybe you're getting a Jalen Smith, Ayo Dosunmu, and an Isaac Okoro, kind of getting those three guys, focusing a trade package around them. If you get all three of those guys, I'd probably get, you want Connect? Sure. You want a first? Sure. Because, you're getting a legit backup center for now and the future. He also gives you some Ayton insurance if he leaves. On top of that, you'd get a legit two-way point of attack, versatile combo guard that also could give you Austin Reeves insurance if Austin Reeves leaves, right? And then you also get another 3-and-D young wing in Isaac Okoro that kind of help. Now you kind of solve all your needs. Like I said, you could slot those guys alongside Luka and Ayton in a year or two, right? Like worst case scenario, you got Luka, Io, right, with Isaac Okoro, Jalen Smith, and then DeAndre Ayton, and you might not even skip a beat. You got some athleticism, some defense, some switchability, some scoring, some playmaking, a little bit of everything across the board. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.